What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Ango Show. We are live. It is October 10th, 2024. So glad you guys could all be with me today because we are, in fact, talking about AEW WrestleDream, which is taking place this Saturday. I was chilling in the chat. I see you guys all here, and it's funny because I noticed you guys mentioning not a lot of people showing up for this. And quite frankly, I think that just goes to show you that the interest overall in AEW's product is quite little. But it's okay because we are going to talk about this. I think there's like 8 or 9 matches on the card. I'm sure Tony Khan will throw a couple more in there, so of course we're going to talk about it. If you guys want to support the stream, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys clicked like on the stream. If you guys are watching live and you want your questions answered, if you guys want to drop a super chat or gift a membership or become a member, those are all incredibly helpful to the channel. I definitely appreciate it when you guys do it. Don't forget, $5 or more will activate TTS. So just keep that in mind. It will cut me off and then it will read your question on the air. WrestleDream Oh man. Oh, guys, I don't know how I feel about AEW these days. I'm just, I don't know. To be honest with you, my excitement for WrestleDream really isn't. There's some matches I'm excited for. There's some matches I'm not excited for. But as you guys know, the thing I've been literally saying since day one is that AEW pay-per-views tend to be really freaking good. The problem is the weekly television flat out sucks, okay? But it's okay because there's some really cool things that I expect to see on this card. So we'll definitely talk about that. Hopefully you guys are all having a great day. It is Thursday. I know the week is almost over. So, hopefully everybody gets ready for an exciting weekend. Hopefully you guys all have something planned this weekend that's fun. And, man, this is going to be an interesting stream. With that being said, I want to kick things off with the WrestleDream predictions. As of right now, there's only one match on 0 Hour. I am sure that is going to change, but that is the ROH World TV Championship match, Atlantis Jr. versus Brian Cage. I don't really know why we should be predicting this match. I don't think it really matters. ROH being involved in AEW's TV programming, I don't think it really makes a lot of sense. So I just truly don't care who wins this match. I wish Tony Khan could make up his mind when it comes to which talent will be on AEW, which talent will be on Dynamite or whatever. So very interesting. Probably Atlantis Jr. will win this match. I don't know. It's Brian Cage is always going to have a fun match, so whatever. The main card, we have Darby Allin versus Brody King. This should be very interesting. I actually want to give credit to Tony Khan here because I think a lot of people don't understand this match. And yeah, it doesn't really have TV weekly build-up, but the thing is there is a history between Darby Allin and Brody King. I wish more of this was explained on television. I wish it was explained more often. I wish they properly built this match because Brody King's basically been harassing Darby Allin since like day one. So to me personally, this is probably going to be a fun match. I think Darby Allin's going to take a killing. But they are in Washington, which means Darby Allin's probably going to get the win. He'll probably get a big upset win, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's like whatever. But that should be a fun match, honestly. I think those two guys will do some really cool stuff. Darby Allin, it's no secret that Darby Allin is always willing to take an ass beating. See, guys, I'm already yawning. Yeah, that's just kind of how it is sometimes, AEW. Woo, so exciting. On this card, we also got Hangman Page versus Jay White. I just feel like this is also like Jay White just returned and he's going after Hangman Page. This is going to be a fun match, but why are you giving us these matches without building weekly television every single week for a couple of weeks, at least a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks? It would have been really cool if they really did some stuff with this. They didn't. It's going to be a fun match. It's weird because Hangman Page can't really afford to lose. Jay White just came back and he can't afford to lose, so I don't know what the hell they have planned here. I think Tony Khan would be really dumb to have these guys already compete in a match when both guys really can't afford to lose, but that's just kind of how it is in wrestling these days. So this is just nonsensical booking in my opinion, but Jay White will probably get the win. If Jay White doesn't get the win, I don't know what to tell you guys about AEW. I don't know what to tell you guys. If Jay White doesn't win, I don't know what to tell you. But then also at the same time, too, it's not like Hangman Page should be losing this match. So just really weird. Very, very strange. We got an AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The Young Bucks versus Private Party. Wow, yeah. I don't know. Just another match on the card. It is what it is. The Young Bucks versus Private Party is probably going to be a fun match. Private Party is a really great tag team, but the reality is...
Dwayne Jackson super chatted $10. If Shane doesn't show up, how much of disappointment will it be? With that being said, if Daniels does retain, where does Daniels goes from here?
Shout out to Dwayne Jackson for the $10 super chat. He says if Shane doesn't show up... Okay, let's... Hold on. I'm gonna read the super chat again. Give me 1 second. My apologies. I'm just fixing something on the stream. Okay, so cool. Okay, yeah, we're working. It's working. Okay, so Dwayne Jackson dropped a $10 super chat. He says, if Shane doesn't show up, how much of a disappointment will it be? Will that be, with that being said, if Danielson does retire, where does Danielson go from here? This is a great super chat, and yes, I do think Shane McMahon is showing up in AEW at WrestleDream. I probably have the craziest prediction. The other day when we were streaming, I was like, man, I just don't know what the hell they're going to do with Christian. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Christian because Christian has an opportunity to cash in. And listen, I think what's going to end up happening is Moxley's going to end up beating Bryan Danielson. I think Bryan Danielson will lose in Washington. I think he is going to lose to Jon Moxley. I think Jon Moxley is going to have a very, very, very exhausting match to the point where I think Christian Cage will, in fact, try to cash in on Jon Moxley. But I actually think Shane McMahon will... I don't know if it's going to be Here Comes the Money. I don't know what kind of theme song it is, but I do think Shane McMahon's music hits. I think he'll be on the entrance ramp as Christian is trying to cash in. He'll be completely distracted. Jon Moxley will end up pinning him to retain. And Jon Moxley, Shane McMahon, and everybody will stand tall. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think Shane McMahon would be a massive, massive distraction. I think he'll be on the stage. I think he would be the one to prevent Christian from this. And what's actually really interesting is I think Tony Khan would actually have a lot of content to play off of this, because if this prediction were to come true, which I think it is coming true, I really think it is the situation, right? Like, I think Shane McMahon distracting Christian is exactly it's the exact way like you should kick off a storyline. They have that history in WWE. Listen, guys, AEW is struggling right now. They do not have anything truly exciting happening. WrestleDream is not an exciting build. They just had All In, All Out, Grand Slam. They have so much of this stuff that is happening. The reality is this. Christian Cage is going to come out. He is going to try to take advantage of cashing in. And then when he does so and gets distracted by Shane McMahon making his debut, you have several weeks or even months of potential storytelling. And by the way, Christian failing his cash-in does make a lot of sense because Luchasaurus, or Killswitch, right, he is not there. He's got some very serious health issues going on right now. Tony Khan spoke about it. We don't know how that's going to be. So, by the way, just a quick side note, hopefully Luchasaurus, hopefully Killswitch, hopefully this guy ends up getting better, because it does appear to be some serious stuff. But there is a lot of stuff that they can do.
Titus super chatted $99.99. I feel like Tony Khan does matches just to do them. It's cool, but the matches have no build up. Bobby Lashley is coming to WrestleDream. All the ones up for Ango. How could I get your merch?
Titus just dropped another $99.99 super chat. Absolutely insane. He dropped 115 yesterday. Now he's dropping 100. Titus says, I feel like Tony Khan does matches just to do them. It's cool, but the matches have no build-up. Bobby Lashley is coming to WrestleDream. All the ones up for Ango. How can I get your merch? My merchandise could be purchased at www.ango.live. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there if you want to cop something, some hoodies and stuff like that. Also really good for the winter season that's coming. Shout out to Titus for the massive super chat. But listen, it actually ties into the Shane McMahon Christian thing, honestly, if you really, really think this. If you think about it, Tony Khan does do matches just to do them. But this is one of those things where Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson could be an absolutely massive match. Now think of the content that you can get after when Shane McMahon shows up, because there is that history between Shane McMahon and Christian Cage being in the WWE. Plus, Christian, obviously, it justifies him losing his cash-in, right? He doesn't have Luchasaurus. He's distracted by Shane McMahon, completely shocked. This would be a massive, massive, massive way to end the pay-per-view. And again, it goes back to what I was saying. AEW doesn't really have anything exciting happening these days. There's not a lot of big content in this company. So the thing that really needs to matter here is how can you build some momentum? It starts with Shane McMahon, and it's a logical way to stop Christian from cashing in. But also what it really does, imagine how many viral clips you can get from Christian Cage, whose whole shtick is talking about wrestlers' fathers. Imagine Christian Cage has a promo battle with Shane McMahon, and Christian Cage crosses the line talking about Vince McMahon. You know, like, this is the type of stuff that, like, people might hate it, but it will get people talking. And at the end of the day, right now, AEW needs to get people talking. They are struggling to strike conversations amongst wrestling fans. And yes, at WrestleDream, I fully expect Bobby Lashley to be there. And I talked about it on the main channel in my video. Swerve Strickland is definitely teasing something. The Hurt Syndicate will be at WrestleDream. Shane McMahon will be at WrestleDream. The reality is, WrestleDream doesn't have a lot of ticket sales. There is not a lot of interest in WrestleDream. And right now, if you really want to create interest in the AEW product, you got to do big stories. It goes back to Titus's super chat. Tony Khan does matches for the sake of doing matches, and I understand that there is a huge percentage of wrestling fans that enjoy AEW that don't mind that, but the reality is the popularity of the brand has declined, and it's evident in the numbers and the statistics. It's evident in the attendance. I mean, if you guys just take a look, you can tell that AEW is not as cool as it used to be. They used to have a lot of flame behind that brand, and they've lost it. Bring in Shane McMahon, bring in the Hurt Syndicate, bring in John Cena. It doesn't matter who you bring in, it matters what you do with them. And I have been saying this literally since day one, which is why 2024 is such a weird year for AEW, because you get some really amazing storytelling between Swerve and Hangman, and then you get a card where it's Hangman Page versus a returning Jay White. It just, to me, it doesn't seem like there is enough emphasis on the build to these pay-per-views. And that is why I think my prediction for Christian Cage being screwed over by Shane McMahon is really good. And we didn't even talk about Bryan Danielson, by the way. Bryan Danielson is a guy who right now, as it stands, may or may not be with AEW wrestling for a long time. Like, I do believe he will go part-time. I don't believe this guy will be there long-term. So, I think this is a very, very, very interesting situation, because if Bryan Danielson's not there full-time, Kenny Omega's not there full-time, you don't have Cody Rhodes, you don't have CM Punk, you need to create some, like, people. You got to put them on that level, man. You do. You're missing some top stars. You brought in top names. Adam Copeland's not there. Mercedes is not even on the card at this time. Like, there is just so much stuff that could be said about AEW. MJF is taking time off. Like, this pay-per-view doesn't have a great build, but I also think it would be really good for AEW to start getting better at building the pay-per-views, because I'm telling you guys right now, they have all the potential in the world. We've seen them do it before. This is not something new. AEW has created really, really, really good storylines. It's absolutely unbelievable we are at this stage that we are currently in, because this company, there is no excitement behind this pay-per-view. There isn't. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the comments on Twitter. Your AEW loyalists who will defend this company through and through, I don't even think they truly even watch the product anymore at this point. I really don't. So that's the reality. Shout out to Titus for the $100 super chat. Appreciate you, big bro. Appreciate it, man. Absolutely insane. I do think my prediction's coming true, though. I 100% believe my prediction is coming true, and quite frankly, like, I hope I am. I think that would be a very, very spicy way to get people intrigued. And I'm telling you guys, like, if this comes true, just remember who told you. Just remember who told you. My pick for that match, by the way, is Jon Moxley. I don't think Bryan Danielson retains. I don't think so. We have the Young Bucks versus Private Party. I didn't get to finish that prediction. I think the Young Bucks retain. I don't really know what the hell is happening with this tag team division. Unfortunately, the tag team division in WWE and AEW they're both booked pretty damn bad. So hopefully we get an improvement on that. But I'm going to pick the Young Bucks. It would be nice if we get some new emerging tag teams in the title picture. I really like Private Party. I would really love for them to win. You never know. Maybe they pull off that upset again. We're going to get Jack Perry versus Katsuyori Shibata for the TNT Championship. Again, this is like probably going to be a fun match. I don't really care about the build here. TNT Championship clearly not coming off of Jack Perry. I don't think anybody's taking the belt off Jack Perry for a while. I don't know if people really care about Jack Perry. I know I'm weird about Jack Perry. Sometimes I like watching the dude, sometimes I don't. And I think sometimes he's good with this character, sometimes I don't. But there's just the storytelling aspect nature of it all. Probably going to be a fun match, though. We get the ROH World Championship match between Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho. Man, I love Mark Briscoe, guys. I love Mark Briscoe, and I love the fact that he's on a pay-per-view. But again, it goes back to what I said about the ROH World TV Championship. Why are we having the ROH belt on this pay-per-view? Why are we having ROH talent engaged on AEW's programming? We need brand splits for everything, bro. We need a brand split for Collision. We need a brand split for Dynamite, and ROH needs its own roster. Keep the belts off of it. Here's the thing, though. I'm absolutely a massive fan of Mark Briscoe. I'm a huge fan of Mark Briscoe. I want Mark Briscoe on TV all the time. He won the ROH World Championship. He doesn't need to keep holding that belt. ROH needs its own identity. There's a reason why Warner Bros. Discovery doesn't want ROH. And, look, Mark Briscoe should win this match. God knows what they'll do. But I don't know if I necessarily want Chris Jericho holding the ROH title. But who knows? You never know with AEW. Tony Khan be doing some wild shit. We're going to have the AEW International Championship match between Will Ospreay, Ricochet versus Konosuke Takeshita. My prediction is actually probably a little bit shocking. This is one of the matches I'm super excited for. Obviously, with Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Konosuke Takeshita, this should be a very, very fun match. This is going to be the one where I think Takeshita finally wins. I think AEW wants to push Takeshita. I think Ricochet needs to wait his turn. I think having it being a triple threat match is a great way for Konosuke Takeshita to win the match. I think this is one of those unique opportunities for AEW to now build potential single matches between Ospreay and Konosuke, Ricochet and Konosuke. You could build off of this. I'm a huge Takeshita fan, like massive Takeshita fan. This is a guy who I believe should be a world champion in AEW. And I've been saying that since he came in. So this is one of those guys where even though I like Ricochet and I like Will Ospreay, I'm picking Konosuke. I want to see him win. I want to see him do good things. I want to see this company take him to the next level. I feel like this company has not taken him to the next level. I feel like they've kind of been just keeping him in limbo. I think this is one of those situations where it will be completely fine and he'll do a great job. We got a $4.99 from Justin Kennington. He says, outside of the three-way for the international title, Mox vs. Bryan and Swerve return. The rest of the show sucks. I honestly have to agree with you, Justin. I think when you look at the card, I think that's a very, very, in terms of excitement level. I'm not talking about how good the card is. I'm talking about in terms of what I'm excited about. Those three things are definitely it. Because, even though I don't like to build for Paige and Jay White or the Young Bucks and Private Party or Darby versus Brody King, those matches are all going to deliver something good. They're all going to be fun matches. You know what I mean? I just think to get there, how the level of importance and whatever, I don't know. I just don't care about that shit. But I definitely agree. I think Justin's hitting it on the head. I think those three things are the things that everybody absolutely cares about.
Dwayne Jackson super chatted $20. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi have posted pictures of them training together. He did an interview about 2 months ago. He said that he is eyeing for in-ring return barring no setbacks sometime around Forbidden Door or after.
Thank you, Justin, for the super chat. Dwayne Jackson just dropped a 20 bomb. He says Kenny and Kota Ibushi have posted pictures of them training together. He did an interview about 2 months ago. He said that he is eyeing for an in-ring return, barring no setbacks, sometimes around Forbidden Door or after. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I want to see this. I want to see Kenny. I want to see Kota Ibushi come back. These are guys that I absolutely love watching. I think their presence is definitely missed in AEW. I don't know when Kenny Omega will return. Forbidden Door is a long time. And man, this is the thing. Health is wealth. I mean, look at all these guys who miss time because of health concerns, and now we're hearing about Luchasaurus. We just want these people healthy. AEW, I feel like they always get shaken up a little bit due to injuries or talent taking time off or missing TV or whatever it may be. I think this is one of those situations where obviously you can't help it, but AEW is definitely impacted by the absence of Kenny and Kota Ibushi. I feel like to a certain extent the audience really misses them too, and I think there's just so many great storylines that you can run with when they return, but until they return, AEW is kind of in limbo. And that happens a lot to AEW, man. I think a lot of people do forget that, but it does happen. And truth be told, listen, like Kenny, people forget Kenny is like the man around there. You know what I mean? Kenny is the man around there, and Kenny's not on TV. Like it impacts the company, bro. It impacts the company. And the reality is, when you have your top stars missing and you have your top stars not on TV, you got to create new stars, bro. You got to create new stars. Like, it's embarrassing. I'm looking at this card and I see that, like, Hangman Page and Jay White are 2 world championship caliber guys, and they're basically just having a nothing burger type of match. And then for some reason, like, this match is on the card without a big build. Well, no shit, you're going to have a hard time getting people to love these people. It's crazy. It's crazy. Dwayne Jackson, thank you for the 20 bomb. Appreciate you. John Kellum in the chat says, I'm not watching this, was planning to, but you talking crap about AEW is ignorance. There's never been one thing I have ever said negatively about AEW that was not factually true. So if you hate statistics, if you hate facts, that's not my problem. That's yours. But there's never been one thing negatively that I ever said about AEW that wasn't true. It could all there is a ton of evidence to support absolutely everything negative I've ever said about AEW, just like there is when I say negative things about WWE. So the reality is this: if it offends you, you are free to go. I would never want you here. If you're the first person, if instead of crying wolf, you cry tribalism, I wouldn't want you here, because at the end of the day, we're here to all communicate. And at the end of the day, I have friends that work in some of these companies, and I've become very cool with people that work in these companies. I want these people to all have great fucking careers. I want everybody to make money. I want my business to grow. Like, at the end of the day, my business is dependent on the success of the wrestling industry. So if these companies suck ass, guess what? My business sucks ass. So there is no tribalism from Ango. I don't get paid to be biased. I don't get paid to be a loyalist. And at the end of the day, what I truly care about when it comes to this wrestling industry is that these companies survive. Because if these companies survive, guess what? I don't have shit to talk about. That's just how it be, though. Justin Kennington dropping $1.99. He says, so who eats the pin in the 3-way match? I think it's Ricochet. Honestly, I think Ricochet gets pinned. I think he's going to get pinned in a way that is going to be like cheated in a way. It's not going to be a clean pin. But I think Konosuke Takeshita is going to steal the win. He's going to pin Ricochet, and then Ricochet is going to have a reason to feud with Takeshita, which could be really, really cool. And I think that would be the right way to go about it, because it's going to be a fun match. And honestly, if Will Ospreay loses, it's not a big deal. If Will Ospreay gets pinned, it's actually not a big deal. Will Ospreay is one of the most protected stars through booking in AEW. So he can lose. It's not a big deal. But I think Takeshita's going to cheat. I think he's going to do something, and he's going to steal the victory from Ricochet. That's how Ospreay is going to lose the belt. And then I think you'll see all 3 guys intertwine with storylines and stuff. But yeah, for sure, I think Konosuke Takeshita wins. And I'm excited about that. The next match that we have on the card is Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale. This is one of those matches where, again, the build isn't that exciting. However, these are 2 of my favorites in AEW, so I am actually excited about this match because I think they're going to have a fun match. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be Willow Nightingale's time. Willow Nightingale, I don't think, is going to get the job done with Mariah May, which is unfortunate because I think Willow Nightingale, to me, is like... she's like one of the people that is going to absolutely be a massive, massive star for AEW if they play their cards right. So I'm hoping so. I'm hoping in the event of Willow Nightingale, I hope, eventually she gets her time. This is one of the weird things, man. I think Toni Storm versus Mariah May was one of the best storylines AEW has ever produced. So when I watch Mariah May go on to like these lesser matches or whatever, or like lesser storyline builds, it's kind of like disturbing to me, because Mariah May is somebody who I feel like, even given more and more time with Willow Nightingale, they could craft a really, really good storyline together. That doesn't actually appear to be the case. Willow is literally one of my favorites in AEW. So like, I would love Willow Nightingale to pounce the shit out of Mariah May. Maybe Toni Storm comes back and screws over Mariah May. I don't know.
Dwayne Jackson super chatted $5. Which match has the potential to be match of the night?
Dwayne Jackson, great question. Thank you again for the super chat. Which match has the potential to be match of the night? Honestly, I swear to God, I'm telling you guys this right now. Like, this is the honest to God truth. AEW pay-per-views, it doesn't really matter the build, right? If you're going off of match types, like sometimes the biggest story doesn't equate to the best match, which, truth be told, I think really match of the night is going to be Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita, or I would go as far as saying Hangman Page and Jay White. I think those two matches are going to be really, really, really exciting matches. I think people underestimate how good Jay White and Hangman Page could be. The problem is the build doesn't always reflect that. But I think literally any one of these matches could be really, 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 really good. And I hate to say this, but Young Bucks versus Private Party, if you guys remember their earlier matches, like, these guys could steal the show. Like, anything could really be potential match of the night. The only thing I would say that's probably not going to be match of the night is Mark Briscoe and Chris Jericho. I think that match and Jack Perry versus Shibata. I think they're going to be fine matches, but I just don't think they're going to level up like on a whole other level. So for me personally, yeah, I think this is one of those things where I'm excited to see which matches end up taking the cake. I think the biggest moment goes back to what I was saying about Shane McMahon debuting and stopping Christian from cashing in. But in terms of match quality, any one of these matches really could take the cake. Will Ospreay and Ricochet and Takeshita will probably be one of the most funnest matches, though, because those three guys are so damn good in the ring. And I know people don't like Ricochet, and I know people don't like Will Ospreay. And guys, this is gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun match. But you can't forget about Hangman versus Jay White, bro. Let them go out there for 25 minutes, bro. They're going to have a banger. They're going to have a banger of a match, which is why I'm so pissed that it's happening for no reason on this specific card, because Jay White eventually wants gold. Jay White and Hangman Page should be a world title feud. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I see it. So, yeah, it's just a little disappointing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, what can you do? Shout out to Dwayne Jackson again for the super chat. Appreciate you, dog. So, yeah, Mariah May, I think she beats Willow Nightingale. And I do think Jon Moxley takes the belt off Bryan Danielson. And I think Christian gets stopped. I think Christian Cage gets stopped by Shane McMahon. What do you guys think? You guys drop some predictions in the chat. Let's see them. Let's hear them. Because that's the thing, man. It's the build isn't that great, but you guys know how it is with AEW. The build isn't always that great. But the pay-per-views always deliver. Y'all will never hear me ever say that an AEW pay-per-view ain't worth the money. Because AEW always delivers great pay-per-views, bro. They always do. I'm reading the chat. Some of you guys just simply don't care about the pay-per-view. I think, listen, man, I get it. I get it. I understand. But my question to you guys is, what can AEW do differently to get you guys excited about this, about pay-per-views again? Because trust me, this full card that we're talking about, I know for a fact Tony Khan will add more matches in. And at that point, if he's adding in more matches last minute, I'm not really too concerned about it, you know? If I'm being honest. David Decker says, bold prediction, Stokely Hathaway will help Private Party beat the Young Bucks. Yeah. That'd be cool. If Private Party wins, bro. If Private Party wins, you got to push them, bro. You got to push them. Get that tag team division back on track, because I swear to God, you have an amazing tag team roster. They have an amazing tag team roster. I don't think Shane McMahon could use "Here Comes the Money." But listen, Adam Copeland came out. You think you know him? You know they could remix it. Here comes the money, 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 money. Coin drop. Shane McMahon music. They could do some shit. They could do some shit for his intro to make it known that it's Shane McMahon. On the Tron, it's just green with money falling. Shane McMahon walking to the ring, $100 bills with his face falling into the crowd. I could see some cool shit like that happening. I'm shocked that you guys think Danielson will retain, though. A. Jackson dropping $1.99. He says, does heel Ricochet eventually join a manager? You know, I listen. They can't get Cedric Alexander in because he re-signed with the WWE. I wouldn't mind seeing a heel Ricochet with MVP in the Hurt Syndicate. So who knows? I do think Ricochet needs a manager, though. I think he's cool, bro. I think Ricochet's a cool-ass talent. I just don't think he's got the promo skills, which is completely fine. You don't need promo skills in pro wrestling. You don't need promo skills to be good in pro wrestling. You just need a good-ass manager who could do the talking for you. Thank you, A. Jackson, for the $1.99. Humble85 dropping a $4.99. She says AEW has to get back to consistent television. I 1000% agree. 2024 started off pretty damn good. Now it's a little bit weird. Things are a little bit weird. This past week, I cut him some slack because of the hurricanes, talent travel woes, and stuff like that. But yes, I do agree. AEW has to get back to consistent television. And really what it comes down to is long-term planning. You know how I know Tony Khan isn't planning long-term? Because Tony Khan used to plan matches 3-4 weeks in advance and announce them 3-4 weeks in advance. Tony Khan used to announce matches 3 or 4 weeks in advance. Tony Khan no longer does that. This past week, like I said, I'll cut him some slack because injuries and the hurricanes and travel issues. So you have to do things on the fly. But for the most part, Tony Khan is clearly not planning long-term the way that he used to. Years ago, you could watch Dynamite and you would get those little announcements 3 weeks from today on AEW Dynamite. So-and-so is going up against so-and-so. Tony Khan doesn't do that. So Humble's super chat, AEW has to get back to consistent television?
Titus
yes.
super chatted $9.99. I just realized I've been a member for 2 months lol, but I might have to take a trip to your hometown, but I'm in New York, but when WWE have to get their tag teams together. The War Raiders versus MCMG.
Humble, thank you for your super chat. Titus dropping more. He dropped $9.99. He says, I just realized I've been a member for 2 months, LOL. Appreciate that, Titus. He says, I might have to take a trip to your hometown, but I'm in New York. AEW and WWE have to get their tag teams together. The War Raiders versus MCMG. Bro, the tag team divisions in AEW and WWE are incredible. They have great tag teams. Their booking reflecting those divisions is not reflective of the talent that they have in their companies. AEW had the greatest tag team division I've ever seen in my life. Ever. It's crazy. Crazy. Now, in terms of the War Raiders versus MCMG, that would be great, but MCMG is going to be on SmackDown. So you can't get excited about that one. You're going to have to get excited about Motor City Machine Guns versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Oh, shit. That sucks. But GOD's on SmackDown. Maybe we'll get the Usos reunited. Maybe we'll get Street Profits. Nah, Motor City Machine Guns are sticking with their name. Thank you, Titus, for the $9.99. I appreciate you, bro. Humble's in the chat. She says the tag teams of AEW and WWE are getting dumped on. That isn't right. I agree. It isn't right, bro. Too many good tag teams. Not enough big tag team title match feuds. Strange. Both companies suck at tag team wrestling booking. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. I have to go. It's important. But I'll be back tomorrow. Yes, I love you guys all. Appreciate you all. Hopefully you guys enjoy WrestleDream. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.